Hello everyone and welcome back. We are going to continue working with the edit page. This is part 2. If you haven't seen part 1, what are you doing here? Watch the part 1 and then come back. Today we are working only on the timeline. So we are going to be working in here. We've discussed earlier media page and inspector and metadata and all of that. Today we are going to have a look how you can edit and change whatever is happening in here. And first of all, let's discuss how you drop your footage on your timeline. I know I said about that in the previous video, but there are some other options as well. Okay, first of all, the main method that you're gonna use is called drag and drop. And I typically prefer this method because this is the most convenient one. So you just take any footage from here and just drag and drop it on your timeline, and that's it. And then you cut and edit the way you want it to, and you can trim this footage, you can do whatever you want with this footage. But there is also a way how you can do that without even touching your mouse, and that's like not the way I would do it, but I have to explain every possibility you can have in here. So you can click Ctrl+2. This way our bin, in this particular instance I've got only one bin, that's why I pressed Ctrl+2. If you want to select the bin first, you can click Ctrl+1 to select any bin, then Ctrl+2 to enter this bin. In this bin you're gonna find a footage that we need and press enter. Now we can view this footage. Then by using JKL, we're gonna scrub through this footage and find in and out points that we need. Let's say that I need this point as an in point. I can press I, and then by pressing L, I'm gonna scrub to the end of the footage or to the out point if I need any like out point before the end of the actual footage. For example, in here I can press O, which is out point, and then there are like numerous shortcuts that I'm going to show all of them on the screen right now. But basically you can click F9, F10, F11, F12, Shift F10, depending on what it is you want to do. In this particular instance I'm going to press Shift F12, and this piece of footage will be thrown to the end of my timeline. And this way I haven't touched a mouse, and I was able to drag the footage in here to my timeline. So this is the way you can work, and actually this could be a very quick way how you can work, because once you find your way on the keyboard and experiment with it, or your muscle memory will make it much quicker than working with a mouse. So if you want, you can use this method to do it, but I'm not going to. Now let's talk about auto select feature. There is this button in here which is called auto track selector, and if you click, by default it is enabled, and if you click on it, nothing happens. You still select both of video and audio tracks, you still select all of the tracks, nothing really happens. And so what does it really do? If you click, this is like really strange. I'm a tool, I'm going to disable auto track selector in here, and here's what I want to do. I'm going to click in point on a timeline and out point on a timeline. And as you can see, it selected in point and out points, but it selected only video clips and only the portions within in and out points. Because I disabled those auto track selectors, it's not going to select the audio portions of these clips. And this way I can press delete and delete those portions of the clips. As you can see, there is this red square appeared in here, and with some numbers. I'm going to explain what is happening in here a bit later. Yeah, so this is what it is used for. Just click auto select, and you can delete just multiple clips from multiple tracks all at the same time, but those clips that for which you disabled auto track selector will be untouched. Yeah, kind of difficult to explain. Now, you can lock tracks. You can lock, for example, I'm locking this track. That's why I cannot change anything that is happening in here. I cannot change absolutely anything. I cannot edit it. But let's say that I want to continue editing this track, but I want to lock only the position. One way to do that is to click this. It's going to lock the position of all of the tracks, but I still can, for example, trim them like this. But the position is the same, okay? I can drag the cut point between two clips, edit points, but the positions will remain the same. You can do the same thing to an individual like track. This is done by clicking lock track with a control. You press control, left click on lock track, and it's locked position, but only on the first track. Yeah, this is sometimes it's useful, sometimes it's not, but it is there for you. Now, as we talked before, you can disable any tracks by pressing D, or you can disable them, disable video tracks. Yeah, enable and disable video tracks in here, or you can just select and press D. As easy as that. Now, let's talk about gaps. Here are some gaps. Let's create another one in between clips. Sometimes you need them because, for example, this audio track will be here and this audio track will be here, and some maybe titles. Don't have enough of the clip. Never mind. You can have maybe some titles in here. Sometimes you need those gaps for your editing, but sometimes you do not. And the way you can easily delete it, just click it and press either a backspace or a delete button. But there is also an automatic way that will delete all of the gaps. I do not really recommend using it because it is going to create a little bit of a mess. But if you are sure that you do not really need all of the gaps on your timeline, you can use it. And the way you use it is by clicking Edit and Delete Gaps. If I click that, all of the gaps will be deleted. Okay? Okay. We've talked about gaps. Now, as you can see, when I select video clip, the audio clip is selected automatically. This is called linked selection. And as you can see on this video clip, there is this chain, and on the audio too. It means that they are linked to each other and they are selected simultaneously. This button is going to dictate whether you select them both at the same time or not. If I disable this, I can select them just separately. But it's actually a better way to do that. Press Alt and select like them separately. You can also unlink them. If you select both of them, right click, and there is this tick right to link clips. If you uncheck it, now they are not selected. You can move them separately. You can do whatever you want to them separately. To link them back together, you should select both of them, right click and click link clips. You can also select multiple clips. For example, I have this clip over here. I'm going to select all of them and click link clips. Now they are working as one like selection, one linked entity. Let's call it that. Right. Now, if you remember those like red squares in here, or better say rectangles. If you select video clip separately and just move it, it's going to create an offset. It's going to tell you that there is an offset between the video and the corresponding audio. So in order to fix it, you can right click on this red rectangle, and you got 4 options. First is slip into place. As you can see, it slipped them. It doesn't mean that this video portion is lost. No, it is still there, but it slipped to the amount that was overlapping. Okay, you can click move into place. They're going to be exactly the same as before. And slip others into place. It means that now the audio is affected, not the video, and move others to place. This way they are both to be in sync again. Now, I've talked about manually linking clips, yeah. Now let's talk about the editing itself, about resizing, deleting clips, and all of that. You can resize clips. You can drag your, by the way, these are your basic controls. This is just your selection mode. This is trim edit mode. This is dynamic trim mode, which is kind of strange. I'm gonna show you what it does. And this is your blade edit mode, right? In your selection mode, it's selected by default. Once you reach the end of the clip, the selector is going to change how it looks. And if those, for example, 2 clips, they connect in here, there is an edit point. You can edit only this clip. As you can see, I'm changing the duration only of this clip. You can change the duration of this clip, and you can change the cut point between them, the edit point, right? As you can see, I can select those portions. For example, I can select the end of this clip and the beginning of this clip, like the edit points. Okay. Now, if I want to copy a clip, if I want to copy a clip, I would just select, if I want, for example, copy audio and video, and I will press Alt and drag it to a new position. And this is the selection of a new, this is the new clip that is selection of the previous one. Now, if I drag this clip to the left, you can see that it overwrites the portion of the previous clip. If for some reason I do not want that, I need to press Ctrl Shift and then drag it to the left. And now I do not overwrite any portion of this clip. The clip is subdivided by this clip. And for example, I can throw this clip in between, but this happens only if you press and hold Ctrl Shift and then left click. Oops, not the way I wanted. And then drag it in here. Okay. If you just were to drag it in here, it will all overwrite the clip that is beneath. And the same way, if you drag it left and right, it's going to overwrite the portion of a clip. Yeah, not probably the way I would want it by default. I would want it to jump. Maybe not. Maybe this is just the right way, but this is the way it is in the DaVinci, right? Yeah. Now, let's talk about cleanup video tracks. If you've got a copy of a video track on top of the same video track, which is not what you want, and nothing has been done to this video portion, the opacity hasn't been changed, now none of the effects have been applied, you do not really want that, because this is just a copy of this clip and it's going to show you the same, literally the same thing. But you can press timeline and what? Cleanup video track. Cleanup video track. And you can choose whether you want to flatten unused clips, disable them, or to change color. I would choose probably change color to orange. And as you can see, it found a clip that is used twice on top of each other. Yeah, on top of itself. You do not really want to have that because this is absolutely pointless. So you've got the feature that is going to check that thing for you. So you wouldn't have to just check it manually if you have a really big project. Now we're gonna return to these features, okay? But first we're gonna talk about something else. For example, you remember I was talking about markers that you can create in here over something specific and important that you need. I didn't tell you that you can also expand them by clicking Alt, selecting this marker and dragging it to the right. You can expand the marker, right? And this way you can double click it, write anything you want, and it's done. Now, also, as maybe you remembered, but here there is an option called markers. If you name them properly, you can go from one marker to another, or just press Shift and go up and down between those markers. Now, you can also create a drawing annotation. As you remember, previously we had an annotation option somewhere in here, and this was referring to this feature. You can click annotation, and you can draw anything you want in here, and it's going to create a marker containing, on this particular frame, containing these annotations, right? So if you're a producer and you want to show your editor where you do not like something, okay, you're gonna use these annotations. Now, yeah, you can also change the color of the clips. Color clip, change it to olive, and now this is different color, and it's much easier to find. Now, there is also a way you can create. There are multiple options in here, and I was going to talk about new component clip, but I'm going to talk about several options in here. For example, if I've got several clips, I've got multiple effects on them, and I want to render them in place, I first need to create a compound clip. I'm going to select them, new compound clip, and this clip is going to contain all of the footage, all of the audio within this clip. And now I can right click and render in place. Why would I do that, and when I would do that? I was creating some effects on my 6K raw clips. Those clips were color graded, and I was creating some effects on top of them. And this was pretty laggy. I couldn't really work with that the way I wanted. So I created a compound clip that was containing the original footage, the color grade within it, and the special effects that I created, the animations. And then I would click render in place. This way the DaVinci is going to render this particular piece of footage, place it somewhere. You're gonna to select manually the codec. What do you really want in here? It's going to place it on your hard drive and then re-upload to your timeline. And this way, this portion is not laggy anymore. It plays smoothly the way I expected it to be. So if you ever encounter like a lot of effects that you need to do, and you need to be able to play this particular portion smoothly, you can use compound clip and render in place at the same time. Now, to the last portion of this video. Let's talk about these things. First of all, this is called trim edit mode. What does it do? You can move this portion of the video within the length that you predetermined before. You can also do all the things that you were able to do in this mode. Once you get to the edit portion between clips, you can move all of that. But there is also this dynamic trim mode, and it works for selection tool and for trim mode. It works for both, but it works differently. Why did my playhead change to yellow, and what is really happening in here? This feature is kind of strange, but it allows you to edit. As you can see, it automatically jumped to the closest edit point. And now, using J, K, and L, I can edit this portion. I press J to move to the left. It's going to move like a playback. And then I click K to stop. The same thing to the right, by clicking L and clicking K to stop. But as you can see, it's going to do it quite quickly. You cannot really find the right spot. If you want to do that by frames, you can press K and hold it, and then J to move to the left, and L to move to the right. Okay? If I click the selection tool, it's going to work too, but a bit differently. For example, as you can see, or you can't. Yeah, I need to select the clip, and I'm moving the clip itself. Not the video within the length of the clip. I'm moving the clip itself, right? This way you can edit, if you like this way, using dynamic trim mode. Yeah. Also, the very familiar, very easy mode is blade. You can select this blade and cut your clip the way you want it to. But the drawback with that, I do not really want to select it and trim it this way. That's why I created a shortcut. Several shortcuts. Yeah, preferences. No, not preferences. God damn it. Keyboard customization. Yeah. I tied a special command to 3 keys that weren't there before. C is for razor, W is for end to playhead, and Q is to start to playhead. And what it does is this. Oops, it's not what I wanted. When I'm over the particular portion of the clip that I want to create a cut in here, I just press C, and it's going to create a cut. Quick and easy. This is the way I like to work. If I want to delete everything that is on the left and move everything that is on the right within this clip to this portion, I click Q, and it's going to delete everything that is on the left within this clip, only that is referring to this clip. On the left to the playhead, it's going to delete everything and move everything that is on the right to the edit portion of the previous clip. Yeah, it's difficult to explain. If I want to do the same thing but delete everything that is on the right and move the next clip to this, I press W. And this is how I like to work, because I just move it in here, I just drag it. Yeah, I need the portion where he opens the door. I find it, click Q, and everything is done. Now I need a portion at the end to cut. I click W, everything is done. Yeah, this is easy and quick. So I guess this is everything. I need to check it. Yeah, this is all that I wanted to talk about. The next video about editing page will be about transition, effects, all of that, because we need a separate video for that. I'm not going to try to put everything in here. So thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next part about edit page. Bye.